Welcome back to ZK Auto Reviews, where today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and daring machines ever to roll across the battlefield, a vehicle that dared to be different, that defied conventions and charted its own unique path through military history. Today, we bring you the incredible story of the M551 Sheridan, a tank that was bold, brilliant, and, in many ways, ahead of its time. The story of the Sheridan begins in the late 1950s, at a time when armored warfare was rapidly evolving. The U.S. Army faced a unique challenge. They needed a light, highly mobile vehicle that could be parachuted into battle alongside airborne troops, yet still pack enough firepower to take on enemy armor. Tanks of the era were powerful but heavy, too cumbersome for rapid deployment. Something had to change. Something revolutionary had to be built. Enter the M551 Sheridan. The Sheridan was born from a vision of a lightweight, versatile armored vehicle that could fly into battle and hit hard the moment it touched the ground. Designed by General Motors' Cadillac division, the Sheridan combined cutting-edge technology with bold engineering choices. It wasn't just about building another tank, it was about building a new kind of combat vehicle. Weighing in at just around 17 tons, the Sheridan was remarkably light for a tank. Its aluminum hull was a radical choice, dramatically reducing its weight while still offering reasonable protection against small arms fire and shell splinters. This lightweight design meant that the Sheridan could be dropped from aircraft, dropped using specially designed parachute systems, and it could even be delivered ready to fight thanks to retro rocket packs that cushioned its landing. Imagine the sight, a tank descending from the sky, ready to engage the enemy within minutes. It was a vision straight out of science fiction, and yet, it was very real. At the heart of the Sheridan's punch was its remarkable armament, a 152mm M81E1 rifled gun launcher. This was no ordinary cannon. It could fire both conventional shells and the Shillelagh anti-tank missile, giving the Sheridan unprecedented versatility on the battlefield. The Shillelagh missile could engage enemy armor at distances up to 2,000 meters, and when it connected, it packed a wallop. But the Sheridan didn't stop there. It also carried a .50 caliber machine gun mounted atop the turret for anti-aircraft and infantry roles, and a 7.62mm coaxial machine gun for close-range defense. For its size, the Sheridan was a veritable armory on tracks. Mobility was another cornerstone of the Sheridan's design. Powered by a 6-cylinder Detroit diesel 6V53T engine producing 300 horsepower, the Sheridan could reach speeds up to 43 miles per hour on roads. Its lightweight build and wide tracks meant it could cross soft ground with ease, from jungles to deserts, and even swim across rivers with only minor preparation. Its hydropneumatic suspension allowed it to adjust its stance, kneeling or raising up to adapt to different terrains and improve its gun elevation or depression angles. This flexibility gave it an agility that few other tanks could match. Of course, no story of the Sheridan would be complete without mentioning its combat history. The Sheridan first saw extensive action in the Vietnam War. It proved invaluable in the dense jungles, where its mobility allowed it to go where heavier tanks simply couldn't. Infantry units loved having Sheridans nearby. Their firepower could devastate enemy bunkers, clear vegetation, and provide immediate heavy support in tight, dangerous firefights. Despite some early mechanical issues, and yes, it had its share of teething problems, the Sheridan earned respect for its ability to bring the fight where it was needed most. The Sheridan's story didn't end with Vietnam. It served on through the Cold War, stationed in West Germany as part of NATO's Rapid Response Forces, and saw action again during Operation Just Cause in Panama in 1989. In the cramped, urban environments of Panama City, the Sheridan once again demonstrated its worth: maneuverable, quick and packing enough firepower to overwhelm enemy positions. It even made its way to the deserts of the Middle East during the early stages of Operation Desert Storm, providing reconnaissance and support roles where heavier tanks were too large or too slow to react quickly. But perhaps what makes the M551 Sheridan truly special isn't just its technical specs or its battlefield record. It's the spirit it represented. It was bold. It was daring. It took risks. It was an answer to a question no one else dared to ask: what if a tank could fly? And though not without flaws, its aluminum armor couldn't stand up to heavy anti-tank weapons, and its complex gun launcher system proved difficult to maintain in the field, the Sheridan nonetheless filled a niche that no other vehicle could at the time. There are countless stories from soldiers who served with Sheridans, stories of tanks that arrived just in time, of desperate battles where a Sheridan's big gun turned the tide, of missions that would have been impossible without its unique combination of mobility and firepower. Veterans often remember the Sheridan with a mix of frustration and affection. It was a challenging machine to master, but once you understood it, it was a powerful tool, a loyal companion, and sometimes, a lifesaver. Today, the M551 Sheridan occupies a special place in military history. It's preserved in museums, honored in memorials, and remembered in the hearts of those who served with it. It was a tank that refused to fit the mold, that blazed its own trail, and that left a legacy of innovation and bravery that still inspires designers and soldiers alike. At ZK Auto Reviews, we celebrate machines like the Sheridan, machines that dared to be different, that pushed the boundaries of what was possible. The M551 Sheridan wasn't perfect, but it was bold. It wasn't the biggest, or the most heavily armored, but it was smart, fast, and packed a punch that few could ignore. It stood for something greater: the relentless pursuit of innovation in the face of overwhelming odds. Thank you for joining us today on this incredible journey through the history of the M551 Sheridan. If you enjoyed this story, if you love hearing about these amazing feats of engineering, we invite you to subscribe to ZK Auto Reviews, give us a thumbs up, and leave a comment sharing your favorite tank or military vehicle. We've got so many more thrilling stories to tell, and we can't wait to have you along for the ride. Until next time, keep your engines roaring and your spirits high. This is ZK Auto Reviews, signing off.